Depending on what part of the country you're in, things could start heating up real soon. One thing that you don't want to overheat is your CO2 laser tube. Sure, you could use a bucket and some tubes to circulate the water around your laser, but is that really the best method for keeping your laser from overheating? And what do these clamps have to do with making sure that your laser tube doesn't die? Many CO2 laser tubes come with something like this: a bucket, a small pump, and some tubing. This works well for circulating the water around the tube, and often people put ice packs in the bucket to keep the water cool. This may work well for some climates, but I live here in Houston where the average temperature in the summer is usually above 90 degrees. You could probably tell with some of my build videos when I'm sweating like Ben Stiller in Along Came Polly.
Are you okay? Because you're sweating pretty profusely.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
With my 40-watt benchtop laser, I was able to get by with this method for a while, but it was a pain in the bucket. I wasn't running jobs for a long period of time, so it worked okay when the temperatures weren't super hot. However, if you're using your laser for a longer period of time or want to increase the life of your tube, you will want to watch until the end of this video. With my full spectrum Muse, I ended up needing to replace the laser tube much sooner than I should have because I didn't have what I do now. The standard water pump that comes with many lasers is similar to a water pump you would find in a fish tank. One major issue with this is that it won't alert you if there are issues with the temperature in the water, and many people will go out of their way to add a temperature sensor to their bucket. But if you're like me, I want the quickest and most efficient way to monitor a consistent temperature. But that's not the worst thing about a system like this. To use this type of pump, you connect the outlet from your laser to the pump, and it sits in a 5-gallon bucket like this. The water will consistently surround the tube, but the ambient temperature of the water will continue to rise as you use the laser. If your shop is warm and the temperature of the water can already be higher than you'd want, the best way to control this is by adding ice packs to your bucket. For occasional use and running your laser for less than an hour, this shouldn't be a problem, but that's not even the biggest problem with this system. If your shop is dusty, the dust can find its way into the bucket, even with the lid on, because you need to constantly open the lid and add ice packs to chill the water. Dust and debris are inevitable and not good for your CO2 laser cutter. If the dust gets into your water, it can get into the closed system around the tube and settle around the tube. Even if you are able to control the dust and don't mind adding ice packs to your bucket to keep the laser cool, that's still not even the biggest issue I have with this type of system. Ohmtech and most laser chiller manufacturers recommend a water chiller if you're planning on running your laser for longer than 6 hours, or if the ambient temperatures are above 85 degrees, like in Houston. A chiller is a self-contained, dedicated, closed-loop system used for keeping your laser tube at the nominal operating temperature. It includes a reservoir, a radiator, and a pump. Some chillers come with a compressor as well. Before you start writing in the comments that a chiller is not necessary, I want to let you know that you're right. It's not necessary, but it can help you get more life from your laser tube and prevent loads of frustration. There is an option that is technically a chiller, but it isn't really a chiller. It would still act as a closed system for your laser engraving machine, and that's the CW3000. With this system that sounds like a tool from the show Home Improvement, it acts as a radiator and the water flows through the machine. It reduces the heat buildup of the water, so it's cooler when it flows back through the tube. Why they called it an industrial chiller, I'm not sure. It's not really a chiller, it's more like a cooler. But then that would be confusing too, wouldn't it? It does radiate heat rather than using refrigeration. In addition to it being a closed system for your chiller, it will constantly monitor the internal sensors, indicator lights, and built-in alarms if the system fails or water level drops. The cost of this machine runs about $160 and is primarily for 40-watt machines. It runs on 110 volts and has a max flow of 2.6 gallons per minute. It's not a power hog, only uses about 0.9 amps, so depending on your power situation, you could probably get away with having this on the same circuit as your 40-watt machine. What's the cost and is it worth it? Let me answer the second part of that, is it worth it? The average replacement laser tube runs between $150 and $1,000, depending on the wattage of the tube. A replacement tube for this laser would cost me around 500 bucks. Since keeping the tube cooler while running helps prolong the life of the tube, the answer is not as straightforward as you would think. The average lifespan of a 130 watt tube like this is around 10,000 hours. By keeping the tube cooler while running, the laser can run for longer at average power settings. I typically don't run the machine greater than 40% power on most jobs. If you're running the laser in a hotter environment like I am here in this detached garage shop, it's easy to see how ice packs wouldn't last for a longer runtime. By adding a water chiller, I keep a constant temperature of the water surrounding the laser beam, and these tubes should stay around 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit while running. Depending on the size of the laser water chiller you're considering, the prices range from between $500 and $600. If I can get 150% more runtime out of a bulb, then a chiller is definitely worth it. This particular laser chiller will pay for itself in about 2 bulbs, but that's not all. Constantly changing the water in the bucket and adding ice packs is worth adding a water chiller because I don't have to worry about the laser tube heating up throughout the job. With my old setup, I would often have to change the ice packs out within 20 to 30 minutes because the water would warm up very quickly. I also am not concerned about the dust getting into the system in my wood shop where there is plenty of dust. There are 2 models of chillers that I'm going to talk about. Both of them are recommended for machines that range between 50 watts and 150 watts. They're both 6-liter machines. The CW5200 and 5202 are essentially the same in all regards with just one difference that I'll talk about in a minute. Both of them have an observation window so you can make sure that your fish are getting enough circulation in their tank. That's a joke, and I'm sure that AI is going to just run with that. The max flow on these is just over 3 gallons per minute. They both have a digital display so you can monitor the water flow and temperature. They have an alert system that will tell you if your water flow drops below the threshold or if your water stops flowing through the system. Each of these has a radiator fan that helps reduce the heat buildup in your laser and uses about 4 to 6 amps on a standard 110 volt outlet. These chillers have dual operation modes, and one of them detects ambient temperatures and adjusts depending on the environment and temperature of the water. Of course, you can opt for the constant temp mode instead of the intelligent control mode if you want to maintain your water temperature within a specific range. Personally, I'm not that smart, so I keep mine on the intelligent control mode because I can use all the help I can get. When you order one of these machines, it will include the actual machine, which is kind of important. It comes with the power cord because the machine is completely useless without it, and it will include an alarm signal output plug to connect to your laser. Side note that your machine will not fire up without this connection. Trust me, I almost had to call tech support, but my friend Nick with NPG Creations bailed me out. Thanks, Nick. The machine will include a spare fuse and a user manual, which you probably won't read because you've been watching this video. If you live in California, you're probably worried about the impact on the environment. I get that. I left California as soon as I could too. But in case you're wondering, these machines are FDA compliant, have a CE certification, and an ISO 9001 quality certification. I have no idea what those mean, but it sounded cute. The difference between the CW5200 and the CW5202 is the numbers. I'm kidding. Well, I mean, they are different, but the 5202 includes twice the inputs and outputs and is a good option if you're running multiple lasers or 2-tube lasers. If you're running 2-tube lasers, you're probably not watching this video anyway. If you are still here though, you know what to do. With all of these systems, you'll want to use distilled water to prevent any corrosion in the system. It's really easy to get it all connected. You add the water until the level in the window reaches somewhere between the middle or top to normal or green area. You connect the water inlet to the laser outlet of the chiller. If you have the 5202, you can do this for both inlets and outlets. Remember, water is flowing out of the chiller and into the laser, and then out of the laser into the chiller. Turn on the machine and let the water circulate through. Make sure to look for any leaks. There is something that you should get to prevent any leaks from happening, but first just check everything out to make sure the water is flowing. There will be some bubbles at first that should disappear once the water flows through the machine. You may notice that the water level drops in your chiller, and that's because the water has transferred from the chiller into the tube. Once the water goes through the tube, you'll probably have to add a little bit more water. Like I said, it's a fairly easy process to get set up. The cost of these units is pretty close. The CW5200 runs $529 and the CW5202 is $30 more and costs $559. If you think that you'll be upgrading to a bigger machine or need dual outlets, go ahead and splurge for that extra $30. I have no idea what the resale value is on these, so you might as well do it now. Oh, there's a discount code too. I've seen some people ask about the noise level on these systems. Now this is ranging at about 70 decibels, and this is just my normal speaking volume. When I turn the machine on, the machine is only registering about 36 decibels. So when the machine is running, it's running less than my normal speaking volume. When the pump is on, it's running about 60 decibels, and my normal speaking volume is about 70 decibels. I was running my machine one day and the laser stopped. The chiller started beeping at me. I panicked and I reached for the fire extinguisher. Then I realized I had water flowing all over the floor. The zip ties that I had attached to the tubes didn't hold back the pressure coming from the tubes and completely blew off the back of the machine. The distilled water I paid so preciously for was now all over the shop floor, but at least the sawdust that wasn't in my chiller stopped the water from spreading. One thing that I wish that I ordered when I got the chiller is a set of these clips. These are heavy-duty nylon hose clamps that have a ratcheting system to help clamp around the hose. You just pinch the hose with the clamps and use a set of pliers to tighten them up. This could have prevented this massive water damage. Because I know someone's going to ask about laser coolant and antifreeze, I'll just briefly mention it. You don't want to use an automotive antifreeze to protect your machine and laser during cold months. Instead, you can get some of this laser coolant if you're in an area where you're concerned about the system freezing. I don't know why they call it coolant, but they do. Just like chilling, this is not completely necessary, but it is a safeguard many take if they're in colder environments. Since I live in a hotter environment, I'm not overly concerned about this, but this laser coolant can be used with these chiller machines. They protect your system in temperatures down to minus 31 degrees Fahrenheit, as well as prevent overheating. The overheating portion does seem a bit redundant with a cooling system, but to each their own. Oh, maybe that's why they call it coolant. Of course, you could have just read all this information on the OhmTech website, but what fun is that? Now you can just click one of the links in the description and buy it knowing that you've made a great investment, especially if you're using the discount code I'll put down there as well. If you still haven't bought your machine or are looking for an upgrade, check out this video right here.